back.
Hmm.
I had to get a lens adapter because I didn't want to buy new lenses yet. He's like, I'll help you set up everything. Well, on behalf of the Academy of Osseointegration and the Dental Guys podcast, I'm Wes the Dental Guy.
And I'm John the Dental Guy.
Welcome, John Rogers, to the podcast studio here at the Academy of Osseointegration meeting. John, you finally made it in. Tell me a little bit about what happened yesterday.
Well, you make plans and you make plans, right? And when we showed up for our flight time, within 30 minutes, we were promptly told it was a 5-hour delay. And there were no other flights that we could possibly get on. We looked everywhere. So long story short, we spent a long time in Chicago.
Yeah.
And at least we made it to Chicago. So there was a flight that went out. And then when we were rebooked, they put us in the seats that don't recline.
Oh, no.
So I had a great plan to just catch a few minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
But when you can't recline your seat on a 4.5-hour flight, it doesn't work well. But I made it. We made it. Here we are. And
welcome.
What a setup we have
here.
Oh,
my goodness.
AO's done an awesome job, and our crew here has done an awesome job of setting this up. Beautiful booth. And I could not be more excited thinking back to all the years we've come to this meeting, all of the times we've covered it kind of in an unofficial way. Being able to be here, cover this in an official way is pretty amazing.
Yes.
I'm super excited about the day. Let's talk about kind of what's coming up today.
Partnering with the AO allowed us to do what we've really always dreamed of doing, which was to bring high-level speakers to the masses, right? Some of you can't make it to this meeting, and John and I always wanted to highlight this meeting from a standpoint of a recap show. But being able to actually have a studio where we can actually interview, ask tough questions, we're getting ready to go over and hear some lectures, some high-level research that's being done, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the newer products too. Yep. But John, tell us a little bit about at 12:10, I think it is 12:10 Pacific time, that's 3:10 Eastern time, you will see the Dental Guys going live on the Academy of Osseointegration, YouTube and Facebook, also the Dental Guys YouTube and Facebook. So you want to go over there and like, subscribe, hit the notification bells, all those things. But at 12:10, John, we got a real special guest.
Yeah, we're going to be having Tara Agalu back on, the president of the Academy, and we've had her on the show previously. She's going to be talking a little bit about what she's excited about with this meeting, just the excitement of being at an in-person meeting. I think she'll just be talking about the value of in-person education and previewing who's going to be showing up and speaking. And then following up from that, we've got starting off with some big names. Hamle Wang is going to be with us.
Yeah, it just doesn't get any better than talking about some of the current things that the AO is doing. Let's talk about like the diplomat and the masters, like the credentialing program. The credentialing program that they're doing here, I really think is going to be the next level thing. John, you and I are practitioners. We restore and we place dental implants. We do work with surgeons, periodontists, those type things. But I think for us, this is something that I think maybe the GP, the specialist can look to be credentialed. And let's talk to him about those things. But also one of the things that we're going to get him to talk a little bit about is this thing that we talked about in the preview show. And if you want to go back and check that live stream out, it lives there as evergreen content, is peri-implantitis. And we're going to ask some tough questions about that.
I think this topic may come up multiple times with multiple speakers. Peri-implantitis, anybody that's been around implants for any amount of time knows it's a huge topic. It has been talked about forever, and there's been a lot of new information that's been coming out in the last couple of years that has maybe made more clear, but also maybe muddied the waters about what's really causing it.
Are your threads exposed, John?
Right.
Are your threads exposed?
I don't think.
Cover your threads up. Let's get it
careful.
Hey, listen, Tomas Linkovicis says that we have zero bone loss concept things available to us, both surgically and prosthetically. We don't want threads exposed, John, because we don't know how to treat that. Or do we?
Or should we just have a smooth surface exposed and change all the implant designs in the world?
So wait a minute. You're going back to the 1980s, John, and you're saying
is the problem the rough surface implant?
Well,
here's the smooth surface really the answer? And
Dennis Tarnow has been on our show before, and he got a kind of high level back at Spear Education when we were live there about the actual milling machines in the polish, right?
How rough is
too rough, right?
Yep.
And so tell us a little bit about him coming up, because in the afternoon, what's the time on that?
Yeah, so after we get to our intro interviews, just really kickoff interviews there around 12 and 1 o'clock Pacific, we're going to have the opening symposium, right? Some really high level stuff presented. And after that, we have a reception here going on in the exhibit hall where everybody's going to be making their way down here to hang out. This is really what a lot of people look forward to, is after seeing these great speakers, getting to come down.
Hey, it's over by the food.
That's right. We're near the food and drink.
Coffee,
so that can't hurt.
Coke.
That's right.
Well, I mean, the Coke's not a sponsor of this, right? Maybe coffee and tea is.
Right. So we're expecting at that point there's going to be maybe some fireworks, because we're going to have some speakers that'll be on the show that have maybe some opposing viewpoints. They may agree more, they may disagree more, but we think there's going to be some really great discussion about how to manage the immediate implant into an extraction socket.
Whoa.
What should we do? What shouldn't we do? How does that affect implant design?
Let me ask you a question. Is Dr. Gluckman using an implant that Dennis Tarnow was instrumental in helping engineer?
Yeah, this is coming full circle.
Whoa.
Because here we have this morning at the corporate forums, Dr. Gluckman talking, who is, of course, as you probably know, partial extraction therapy, socket shield, talking about that with the Inverta implant, which Dr. Tarnow was involved in kind of developing, and Stephen Chu.
Wow.
And so now we're going to have them both talking about, well, is the socket shield approach with that implant the solution, or really are we talking about two completely different thought processes?
I don't know.
We have Barry Levin.
We're going to ask the tough questions, though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're bringing it. And then we're going to have a ridge augmentation discussion with Bach Lee, which...
If short implants don't work, right, then how are you going to do it?
Right.
You got to augment. Right. And I mean, I like some bone grafting, right? I mean, that's one of my things that I like to do, John, is I like to set a patient up for success by adding to what they don't have, right? I mean, bone, right?
But how far can we push that? We're always asking, because we have these masters here, and the question is sometimes comes down to, can we do what they do? Do they have special sauce in their hands? Is it their hands? Is it the material?
Yeah.
Is it the way the surgery's done? Is it the patient?
So what you're saying, John, is there magic that they have that the common clinician doesn't? And I think that's one of the things that you and I always kind of come to these meetings. We always come and we're like, gosh, look at their stuff.
Right.
It looks amazing. And it makes me want to know more.
Right.
And what I can do and what I can't do.
Right. And how much is the materials in the instrumentation, and the actual stuff you can buy, or how much is it just experience and technique?
Yeah.
And these are obviously people that we know are at the high level of experience and technique. So then we're going to
wait. The last one is real special.
I know.
You were talking about materials and technique. We've got a few more minutes here before we come off the live stream. There's some new stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's some new stuff. Before we get to this last special interview at 6:45 Pacific time, we're going to talk about that here just in a second. But there's been some stuff, right? We're getting ready to go over to the corporate forums and do some research for you, because this is Geeks Corner for us, right? I mean, this is where we come. So has Dentsply been working on something special, John?
Yeah, we always look forward to AO because we sometimes see new product launches, and we see new materials come on the market, and sometimes even new implant designs. And
intriguing.
Today is a pretty exciting day because Dentsply is rolling out or featuring their new implant, which there's some changes. You know, we've seen this evolution of all these implant systems, most all of them going to a more aggressive thread taper, aggressive thread pitch, more bone level.
It looks like to me that we need to go over and talk to one of their key opinion leaders and ask some tough questions.
Right.
Because I'm excited about that. I'm interested in why they chose the design that they chose.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to be able to see their presentation with Dr. Norton, who I think is the one who's actually presenting at the corporate forum.
So what's that mean? We're going to follow up, right?
And then we're going to be able to tonight have Michael Norton and Tiziana Testori on to discuss. It's perfect because here's a new design, which we see companies now going to this higher insertional torque focus, but we know that Michael Norton has in the past really not emphasized. In fact, he's even maybe been a bit critical of high torque implants.
He's published articles on resonance frequency analysis and saying that, hey, really, it's not really all about torque, because we know that RFA really is the only thing that evaluates true BIC, bone to implant contact.
But the question of its validity right, is what's going to come up tonight.
It's been around since the 90s. How can they shut it down?
I know. That's
right?
what I'm looking forward to hear.
I'm
Is
passionate.
are we going to have
I'm
a
passionate.
spirited discussion where we will see, is it marketing that's driving it? Is it the need to feel, oh, my implant went in nice and tight, that just feels good to me, I just like it? Or is there really something to it?
Listen, cover
or
up
should
your
we just be talking about
threads.
ISQ?
Do we cover up our threads or do we expose some polish? right? Hey, Ben, how about this? We don't want peri-implantitis, so we got to think about that.
It's
like
true.
when you're doing immediate implant placement, I think it's important that we have stability, right? How much is too much stability?
Yeah.
Right? We don't know the answer to that.
Can we overdo it is going to be one of the questions we ask.
So, John, like, I think that I'm excited. Listen, there is so much hustle and bustle still going on to build this exhibit floor. I can hear the stuff running behind me. It's exciting. John, tell us a little bit about how people can connect and close out the show.
Yeah. So, of course, what we a lot of times see with these types of broadcasts is it's not so interactive. We want it to be interactive.
Yeah.
So if you can't be at the meeting, or if you are at the meeting, you're maybe in these lectures and you're hearing some of these things, we want you to be able to interact with these speakers. How can you do that? Well, you can send questions. If you look at the schedule, see who we're going to be talking about or talking to. Send us some question ideas to the hashtag AODentalGuys22, which you'll see scrolling across the screen if you're watching this in the video. And what we're going to do, we may not use all of those, but your question may make it on the show. You can give us feedback on who you want us to talk to more,
right?
And how we can interact with them. That's going to drive some of our questioning. So definitely engage with us on all the social media platforms and with the AO social media platforms. Stay connected, because we're going to be bringing you nonstop content. And there's a lot that we'll be bringing you that's not on the schedule. We're going to be in this exhibit hall. We're going to be doing some man on the street interview stuff that may show up as well. So just be kind of checking in through the day, through the next few days, as we bring you a ton of content. We are excited to be, once again, in San Diego at an in-person meeting with actual people we can sit and talk to. It is time, Wes, for this.
Yes.
So we're going to be back soon here in the next couple of hours with you guys. Looking forward to talking more. It's been a great intro, though. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Too,
so
man.
for Wes, I'm John. And also for the Academy of Vascular Integration, we are the Dental Guys.
We're off. Dude. It was in our wheelhouse right there.
Yep.
Straight up.